Welcome back. I'm here with Heidi Sanders, and we're going to talk about poetry and other written word. Heidi, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, last month in June, you received an international award. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it was quite an honor. First of all, it honors the memory of my mom, and that's really the most meaningful component of the award for me. But it also is an international award. So there were submissions from 19 countries and from all 50 states, and my poem won.
Yeah, I saw the 19 countries, and I thought, isn't that awesome? So it definitely, it's exciting, and to get a Stratford connection on this as well is so exciting. So this is part of a collection that you started last year, correct? So can you just tell us about the collection that you have?
So the collection is called The Forest of My Mind, and it's a collection of poems that focuses on the grief journey I took when my mom passed away. So it encompasses grief and loss, but then it goes toward hope and renewal. So it's a positive journey.
Yeah, I actually loved how I saw that as well in terms of the renewal part, because it's the grief and the loss is horribly painful, but there is that light at the end of the tunnel. You've also done a couple of journals that I saw. Tell us about the journals for the grief and loss.
Yes, so I have, when my mom passed on, I really wanted to create something in honor of her. So I created a series called Wish I Knew, and it focuses on the life journeys that a lot of us are facing. And I focused on caregiving and also grief. So I collected, one is a collection of quotes, and another one is a guided journal. So I find writing very cathartic, and this journal just helps someone through that grieving process with some prompts.
Yeah, so apropos, and so many people are going through that. I think it's wonderful.
Yes.
You are a professional writer that has written, I think, for the Robb Report, the Globe, under a pseudo name. So tell us about your professional writing experience.
Yes, it's been many decades. So I started out as a travel journalist and a travel writer. So I did photography and travel writing for quite a long time, and that was under a pseudonym. And I wrote a series of books there as well. And then I have now just focused more on fiction and poetry, which has always been a love of mine. So I've been writing poems a lot. I have notebooks full of them and computer hard drives. And during the pandemic, really, we had more time on our hands, most of us did. And so I took that time to just put my poems into a collection.
That's wonderful. So I was going to ask you about the fiction, because you did travel, you're a professional writer, poetry. How do you move to the fiction side of things? Is that fluid, or you tell me about your experience?
It is actually, I like to really dive deep into a concept and a story, and I just lose myself in it. So for me, the biggest challenge is having a large chunk of time where I can enter that space and start to write on my fiction. But I find that poetry is kind of that bridge between those two worlds, actually. So it helps launch me into the fiction as well.
Now, are you adding to this collection, or do I understand you're going to be working on your next collection? What's the next steps for you?
So I'm working on the next collection, and I'm also developing a online program for poets. I feel poetry is so important, and the world needs more poetry, especially right now. So I'm developing a program that will help poets find their voice and just help them get into the publishing space, whether it's submitting to online journals or a contest like I did, or even submitting to a publisher.
So sorry, this will be obviously something web-based that you're going to actually help, if you will, mentor without other poets in terms of the process?
Exactly. So it will be an online program. And I'm actually looking for some sponsorship to help with a bursary for poets who just can't quite afford a course. I really feel that we need more poetry out there. The world needs more poets, and this is the time.
Heidi, thank you so much, and congratulations on your award last month as well. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much.